Hello again, folks. Right then, how do I describe this now? Where do I start? Okay, Volodymyr Zelensky. He is either in his hotel suite in Washington or on his plane flying back to the Ukraine now. Kicked out of the White House by Donald Trump after what happened. Wow, I mean, it's uncomfortable viewing if you watch the whole segment. It's a press conference between Trump, JD Vance and Zelensky, and it goes downhill. I mean, it escalates, goes downhill and escalates, you know what I mean? It didn't go as Zelensky had hoped, let's put it that way. But at this moment in time, I reckon Zelensky is thinking two things. One, he shouldn't have campaigned for Kamala Harris back in October. And two, I bet he wishes now he told Boris Johnson to do one, to F off, when Zelensky was so close to attending peace talks with Putin, and Boris turned up and said, no, fight on. You know, millions of lives lost. Ukraine has lost a bit more land, and it's just getting worse. War is hell, war is crap, and the war needs to stop. I bet he wishes now he'd have sued for peace back then, rather than let Boris Johnson tell him to fight on. I mean, why? Oh, we all know why, don't we? But it got so bad in the White House this evening, they nearly came to blows. They were shouting, and I don't mean to judge Zelensky by his voice, but he sounded like he was a little Rumpelstiltskin. That voice, it didn't suit him at all. I mean, what a horrible voice, really. Anyway, so you don't turn up at the Oval Office and disrespect Donald Trump. It's not something you do, and Zelensky did that. It first started by JD Vance pointing out, why didn't you wear a suit? Why are you wearing that stuff? You're being disrespectful. About time somebody told him about that. I mean, that olive garb he wears, why? Why? He's been all over Europe, there's no wars there. UK, there's no war here yet. And the US, there's no war over there. Why the hell is he wearing combat? Wear a suit, for heaven's sake. And they just told him, you don't have all the cards, you know, you don't have all the cards, you can't come here dictating the situation. And then Zelensky made the mistake of threatening the US, and yes, I reckon it was a threat, by saying, you're lucky you've got a wide ocean between here and Europe, and it's going to turn up here. Trump didn't take too kindly to that and started the old finger pointing, didn't he? Then voices were raised. Zelensky was told some home truths. He told JD Vance, you know, come over to the Ukraine and see what it's really like. And JD Vance said, well, no, it wouldn't be what it's really like. You'll show me a propaganda tool like you've done with other foreign dignitaries, or words to that effect. And that's true. And yes, it was JD Vance who pointed out that Zelensky campaigned for the opposition last October. And you can see Zelensky just wishes his seat would just open up and swallow him, because he was put in his place. You know, it's about time somebody did that, rather than fawn over him and just give him what he wanted, like Biden did. He could turn up at the White House when Biden was there and bully him into giving him what he wanted. No more. It all ends now. It's all ended. You know, the gravy train, the US gravy train has ended, and the British gravy train should end as well. You know, we are at the expense of our own people here in the UK. We're funding a foreign war, and for what? Trump pointed out that there have been multiple chances for peace, but Zelensky wants to fight on, and that makes him a warmonger, doesn't it? Putin is willing to sit down, and again, I'm not a Putin apologist, all right? I'm rather shocked at the amount of Reform voters on X who praised and backed Richard Tice's call to back Ukraine. I mean, that's a bit suspect, isn't it? But that's the whole point of the anti-Ukraine war thing, is people are fed up of prices going up in the West, and our leaders telling us, well, prices had to go up because of Ukraine. We're fed up with it. You know, people are dying. They're conscripting all sorts in the Ukraine. I've seen videos of men or boys with Down syndrome wearing the Ukrainian uniform in trenches. How desperate is that? And why? What the hell for? And they are having problems recruiting. That's why they're conscripting. They're going round in vans, picking up young men and throwing them into the front lines. And where's all this money going? You know, that's what JD Vance and Trump wanted to know. Billions of US taxpayers' cash gone to the Ukraine, 100 billion of that or is it 100 million, 100 something anyway, has gone missing. Where's that gone? Who knows? Probably somebody's back pocket. And then they finish by saying, listen, you haven't got all the cards, you know, go for peace with us and you'll have all the cards. So let's hope now that Zelensky takes this on board. And when he was kicked out, by the way, Trump went on Truth Social and he wrote a little essay, as he does, and he finished by saying he's gone, he can come back when he wants peace. So the US clearly see that Zelensky doesn't want peace and they won't be paying any more for his war. So it's all over for him, really, don't you think? This war either stops now, we stop funding it, or we all get dragged in and you got World War III. That's what Trump said. You're gambling with World War III. What the hell do you think you're doing? And, you know, fair play to Trump and Vance telling him. It was uncomfortable watching it. It did seem like they were bullying him. But sometimes some people only understand when you tell them in a certain way. I'm not endorsing bullying, by the way. But this guy has just been traipsing all over Europe and the US, campaigning for the oppositions, and with his begging bowl, getting what he wants to our detriment. You know, we're all taxpayers. Our taxpayer money should be going to us, making our lives easier, public services, infrastructure, borders, security, armed forces, and all the rest of it. But, you know, we're all having cuts, everything's gone up to fund that, and I'm fed up with it. And no, Putin and Russia didn't pay me to do this video. I'm just a fed up British citizen who's seeing a war somewhere 3,000 miles away, which we're having to pay for, and nobody's doing a thing to stop it, apart from Trump and Vance, and fair play to them on telling him. So there we go. I'm not anti-Ukraine. I'm not pro-Russia. I'm just, ironically, ex-British Army. I am anti-war, and it just needs to stop at the end of the day. Is that wrong? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, there we go. I'm past 49. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you at the next one. Roger Trout.